We're doing 3 NFL player props here on PrizePicks for Thursday, November 23rd, Thanksgiving Day, NFL. Probably one of the best days of the year, just in general. We know, wake up having football all day. Want to just say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. If you do watch these videos, I really appreciate it. Anyone that supported, watched the video, dropped a like, subscribed, commented. If you're in the Discord, I appreciate you guys. Thankful for all of you. Just happy Thanksgiving. Before I get started, I also want to mention there is a link to join the premium Discord in the description of this video. Currently doing a Black Friday sale, 50% off the first month. So it's $9.30 a month normally, so 50% off of that. It's like $4 something for the first month. Link in the description below for that. I also want to mention I'm not a gambling expert, and this is not financial advice. These are simply plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully give you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. Again, no one's pressing submit on those parlays other than yourselves. But let's get right into it, you guys. I'm giving 3 plays, and I'm not saying you have to pair, I don't personally even like playing 3-man on PrizePicks. Obviously I'm going to do it for this video to, track my results, but you don't have to pair all 3 of these. You can mix and match. You can take one that you like and pair it with something else you like and things like that. So I'm saying I don't normally like to play 3-man plays, but nonetheless, let's just get into this 3 player props that I do like from this Thanksgiving Day slate. Again, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Let's just get right into this. So the first play is definitely an interesting one. It's going to be a fantasy score, and it's going to be Jameson Williams over 4.5. Right. So right off the bat, this game has home game for Detroit, which in the dome definitely I think helps players like Jameson Williams, helps Jared Goff. We know Jared Goff's elite at home compared to how he is on the road. And 7.5 point spread, 47 over under. So again, one of the second highest over under on the day besides Washington, Dallas, but that's a 12.5 point spread. In the San Francisco, Seattle is a 7 point spread here, but Detroit, Green Bay, division rivalry game. And we look at Jameson Williams specifically, right? His routes and his participation in this offense has been growing each week, right? Last week, he actually played a career high in snaps, but a season high in snaps last week against the Chicago Bears, coming off a 12.4 fantasy point game. Now, he's at 3.6 fantasy, 3.8 fantasy, 12.4 against Chicago, had a 13.3 here against Tampa Bay. And obviously he, gives the Lions that big play factor. Amon-Ra's over the middle. Sam Laporta's over the middle. Josh Reynolds, a little bit of a deep threat, but Jameson Williams gives that Detroit offense another dynamic, and a different dynamic, and one that I definitely think Dan Campbell is looking to implement, right? We look at the snap count. Jameson Williams is the wide receiver 3 now in this offense, budding wide receiver 2 behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, he's played 65 and 52% of snaps in the last 2 weeks, which is, he's pretty much replaced Khalif Raymond in that offense. Earlier in the season, we saw Khalif Raymond. But really, Jameson Williams, 47, 23, 44, 40, 52, and 65% of the snaps over these last 2 weeks. 65% of snaps last week. Season high, career high, whatever you want to call it for a player like Jameson Williams. We look over on Daily Grind Fantasy. Now, Daily Grind is a research betting tool that I do use all the time. There's a link. You get a 7-day free trial with Daily Grind Fantasy. Again, they compare their fantasy score optimizer here. You can see there's obviously no fantasy scores on sports books, but they compare the odds for specific players, and they combine them and give essentially what their fantasy score should be compared to what their odds are on books. And Pinnacle, one of the sharpest books in the industry, has Jameson Williams line essentially should be at 6.1 fantasy. We get him here at 4.5. Daily Grind Fantasy is giving this a 54% odds to hit the over. So definitely this goes into my research, right? And looking at these player props. So again, like I said, the link in the description. You get a 7-day free trial with Daily Grind Fantasy. I recommend it to everybody. But definitely Jameson Williams, with his increasing impact and increasing role in this offense, 4.5 fantasy. We think about just how low that is for a specific player. Like 2 catches for 26 yards, it's the over. It is the over on Jameson Williams for this line. Like, we look at wide receivers PPR fantasy score game log this season versus the Packers. Obviously, there's going to be a ton of wide receivers that have smashed the over on this line. But we just talk about like Khalif Raymond. He caught 1 ball for 40 yards against the Packers at Green Bay in the outside in the cold, and he had 4.8 fantasy. Like 4.5 fantasy, 2 catches for 25 yards. DJ Moore, obviously, don't know what happened there. DJ Moore, different type of player than Jameson Williams. But we look at like players that are able to stretch the field, like Chris Olave, KJ Osborne, Darnell Mooney. Players like Puka Nacua, even Rashid Shaheed had 6 catches. Or 6 fantasy points. I just think it's a great spot for Jameson. I think it's just a little bit too low with his increasing role in this offense. I like it a lot. So this Jameson Williams is going to be the first play. The second play is going to be NFL first half prop. And again, I'm doing one play from each of these games. Second play is going to be from obviously the Washington Commanders Dallas game, which I definitely think this game could get ugly kind of early. Dallas has been playing really, really well. They're back at home, and we know the Washington defense is absolutely horrible. But it's going to be a first half. It's going to be fantasy score, and we're going right to Dak over 11. We look at Dak's last 5, right? He's been playing really well. I think Dak deserves kind of his flowers here. He's over this line, smashing the over on this line in 5 of his last 5 games. Now, there's really no platform where you can kind of see first half fantasy score lines and their total stats and things like that for football. I get at least just StatMuse doesn't have it. But we look at Dak Prescott, and on the season, right, his best fantasy score games have come at home against New York Giants and the Rams. I essentially like three of his top 5 fantasy scoring games have come at home, and 2 of his top 2 fantasy scoring games have come at home. So we just know historically, Dak Prescott is a guy who plays better at home, right? Just on the season. Obviously 11 touchdowns compared to 2 picks at home compared to 8 and 4 on the road. We just know Dak in the dome at home, Jerry's world, he's gonna ball out. Now we look at some of these odds, it's absolutely insane. Over on Outlier, again, there's a link in the description. You get a 7-day free trial with Outlier as well. This is a research betting tool that I do use every single day as well too, so make sure you guys check out that link in the description. He's minus 224, minus 205 on FanDuel to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Like, that is absolutely, I mean, obviously PrizePicks not going to give us 1.5 passing touchdowns from Dak, but again, 1.5, he's going to throw 2 passing touchdowns in this game, right? The Washington Commanders giving up the second most total fantasy points to the quarterback position this season. They've just been getting absolutely destroyed. Not really looking to overthink this one. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quarterbacks that have had 19 plus fantasy points this season against the Commanders. Nine different quarterbacks. The only one who went under was Mac Jones. I guess Josh Dobbs here went under. Not really sure what was going on with this game. He threw for 132, just 132 yards. He had 1 fantasy point. Maybe he had some fumbles. That was like the first game of the year though. But you take away Mac Jones, you take away Josh Dobbs, like these quarterbacks have smashed this line. With Justin Fields at 33, Jalen Hurts at 27, Russell Wilson 26, Jalen Hurts again 24. Obviously division matchup game here, but I just love Dak Prescott in this matchup at home, Thanksgiving Day. I mean, he's been on fire lately. The Cowboys' offense has been really, really clicking. I definitely think they're going to be able to dominate the Commanders through the air. I mean, Commanders' secondary and pass defense is horrible, but like I guess their run defense is pretty horrible as well. I'm not even going to get into how horrible the Commanders' defense is overall. Obviously, they let go of Chase Young, Montez Sweat, so the pass rush is not going to be there. Dak, when he has time in the pocket, he's pretty elite, guys. Like, let's just give Dak his flowers here. He's been playing really, really well this season. But 11 first half fantasy score for Dak Prescott. I'm taking the over on this. I just can't not take the over on this in an elite matchup. Probably as an elite matchup as you can get. And the last play here is going to be obviously from the Niners-Seahawks game. And I'm looking at a receptions prop, and it's going to be Tyler Lockett. I like his over 4.5 here. Just again, Tyler Lockett, obviously we like to target wide receivers against 49ers, right? With their pass rush, pass funnel, their pass funnel defense, right? Their offense, pass rush is so elite, and then their run defense is elite. So it really forces teams to have to throw the ball. Now we look at Tyler Lockett this season. Obviously, he's going to get this fair share of targets. He's coming off a 7-target game where he played a season low as far as snaps go and only ran 28 routes and still saw 7 targets. But really 9, 8, 7. I mean, Tyler Lockett's going to see 7+ targets in this matchup here against the 49ers. Honestly, kind of surprised this isn't at 5 yet. We look over on Outlier. He's currently minus 144 on FanDuel, minus 121 on Caesars to go over 4.5 receptions. And just historically, he's had a ton of success against the 49ers. Like, Tyler Lockett, he's hit the over on this in 3 straight games against the 49ers, 2-2 last season, 7 and 9. Even has a 12 reception game at San Francisco a few years ago, and he's playing at home here. So I definitely think, obviously, them being 7-point underdogs at home for Tyler Lockett, he's just been able to dominate. And I definitely think with those quick passes, similarly to in the Discord, we took a Chris Godwin receptions targets and it actually missed, but he didn't see a reception target in the first half. I don't think that's going to happen with Tyler Lockett here. Again, the San Francisco 49ers allow the 3rd most total receptions to receivers this season. Wide receivers game log versus the 49ers, we can see the amount of wide receivers, especially the wide receivers that play in the slot. With Tyler Lockett, I'm pretty sure lines up a good amount of time in the slot specifically. Right slot, left slot, 25 or more than 50% of the time he does line up in that slot position here. Obviously opposite of DK Metcalf. Jackson Smith-Njiba's out there as well. But we look at wide receivers like Puka Nacua, slot, 20 targets. Jamar Chase, slot, 12 targets. Jordan Addison, slot, 10 targets. Marquise Brown, slot, 10 targets. Christian Kirk, slot, 11 targets. So we just know how the Niners defense works, and how opposing teams and a division team like that has faced them a ton of times, like Seattle, will probably have to target them offensively. So here are the 3 plays for this YouTube video, guys. I really appreciate everyone. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone as well. Drop a like on this video. Check out all the links in the description below. Hit that subscribe button. Again, Jameson Williams 4.5 fantasy over. Dak Prescott 11 first half fantasy over, and Tyler Lockett over 4.5 receptions. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.